clicking on the wrong thing. I'm a bit excited this morning, not because of any particular reason. It's just a good day, you know. And I can see the shock on your face. You're just looking, what's going on with this man?
Exactly, what's going on?
Nothing really. These things happen to me from time to time. I wake up very excited, and I just, you know, that's it. Anyway, we're live on Facebook right now. I've been able to sort that out. So,
oh, wonderful.
How are you?
So,
how are you?
No, I am great, but more importantly, how are you? Let's have a chat about you. What's going on?
I'm bubbly. I'm feeling very well, to be honest.
Good.
And the only thing is that, okay, no, we're not going to go into politics. I was going to talk about the pay rise and all that, but let's just scrap that for now, and let's talk about the fact that they've identified more variants.
I knew you were going to talk about that because you were talking about it yesterday and saying that the variants were a bit of a concern. So I knew you were going to, yeah, and that's exactly what the news is. They say another new variant has been added to the UK watch list. So that's according to the news this morning, and they said that Public Health England has designated it under a variant under investigation. So they've listed another 16 cases of a new variant. So this is like a bit of shocking news, I'm sure, for a lot of people. Because it's enough that we had one UK variant, then the South African, the Brazilian variant, and now we're hearing obviously that we have the other variant, which has another UK one, which has come up under the radar. So it's been traced to 16 individuals who have been told to isolate, and there's going to be mass testing. So the UK has now on its list 8 variants on its watch list. So it's not 1, it's not 2, but it's 8 different variants that they have. So it's I'll just so there's a England variant, which is the B117. There's a South African variant, which is the 501Y2B1351. Then there's the Brazilian, which was the P21. The Japanese, which was the ex-Brazilian one, which is also a P1, but so the same as the Brazilian one. There's also the England one, which is the A23.1, the E484K. These are just the different mutations. And then another England one, B117, E484K, and then another England one, B1525, which was previously known as a UK 1188. And there is now the new variant, which is to be so this is there's another variant, the B11318, which is to be confirmed with 16 cases. So on this list that I've read out, the South African variant in the UK on the watch list, there was 217 cases confirmed. The Brazilian was 43. The Japanese ex-Brazilian one was 5. The other England ones, the variations was 59, 34, and 70. And now we've got a new one, which is obviously 16 cases.
Right. In one of the paragraphs of the news article,
yeah,
and the thing that change, I'm just quoting it, I'm just reading it straight on. That change, E484K, may help the virus evade some immunity from vaccination or prior infection. Experts believe. What is that change? E4K, whatever. E484K. What do they mean by that?
So I think it's to do with the mutation and the variation that it is. So I think they're still actually trying to figure out, because I think you see what happens with the virus, as I said, it gets very clever in order to do what it does. And because it knows that the host, which are humans, which are us, the humans, once it gets into a human body, the virus, it will change its structure to perform what it wants to do, to be a virus and to be virulent, so to cause all the symptoms and signs that we talk about with COVID-19 coronavirus. So what it does is it changes its structure. So these mutations and variations that we're seeing, obviously, Now there's 8 variants that we are on the lookout for. Obviously, the virus has become very clever, and it's changed its structure. And then the concern is when it changes its structure and mutates, is that it can spread more rapidly, it can cause more harm. There hasn't been much suggestion about the difference in symptoms, but it does seem to be more virulent, so more powerful, more able to spread, and to cause more problems. So this is the concern with obviously the mutations. We also know that the other concern would be with the vaccine, because the vaccine was made specifically for the SARS-CoV-2, the COVID-19. And obviously, if it's mutated, and we've got 8 variations of it at the moment in the UK, not talking about other variations around the world, this is obviously going to cause some concern.
So they sort of divided it into two. The
Yeah.
VOC, which is the variants of concern,
Yeah.
and what's the other one? VO.
So variants under investigation.
VUI. So
Yeah,
the VUI.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
So the VUI is the one, the variants under investigation. And then the ones that are under investigation is the South African one, the Brazilian one, the P2, the England one, which is the E484K, that's under surveillance and investigation, and then the other England one, which is the B1525, and then the new one, which is the B11318. So these are the ones, variants under investigation. So I think they're not 100% sure. They've identified something. It looks different. It looks like a variation. And depending on what they found with the changes. So you can see how clever the virus is. It's actually mutating to a different structure. So because it's got that protein structure, it's changing, and the spikes. So that's exactly what's happening. That is the part that actually causes the concern. So the other one is the variants. So those are the ones that they are investigating.
Well, my concern, and I believe, and that of a lot of people, is the fact that they're saying, it may help the virus, the change, the mutation may help the virus to evade some immunity from vaccination or prior infection.
Yeah.
So I suppose we just have to wait and see. That's why this is under investigation. The other thing I wanted to talk about is we haven't talked about the hybrid,
Yes.
the hybrid variants for a long time. What's going on with it?
Well, they haven't actually spoken about that. I think we spoke about the hybrid one with Nigeria, where it actually, so basically the hybrid variation was where it actually was a Californian one that married with another variant, and that caused a hybrid. So hybrid is just basically is just a more complicated way in which the virus has mutated. So it's just in the way that it's married itself together. What did you say, marry? I think when we spoke about it.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So they got married. So
exactly. So that was a very good explanation. So basically these are all singular variants. So single variants. The hybrid one is a married variant. So it's combined with another. So 2 variants combining together, and you can just imagine the powerful virulence and intensity of that virus. Just to go back, I mean, that's a very good question, Apok, when you seem to have a lot of knowledge and concern about the variants, which is obviously rightly so. The variants were first detected in September. We know that the UK one was detected in September, and then obviously the rest of the world got to find out. South African variant was detected in December, and then the Brazilian one was in November. The next Japanese ex-Brazilian one was in February, which is recently. We've heard about it. So those are the variants. The other ones were now detected the new variants of the UK was detected in December again. The 3 different variants were detected in December. So these ones that actually are around have been detected before, but we're only hearing about it now, which is a bit of a concern, I would say. And then the one today, it's now obviously detected. Like yesterday, they've found 16 cases. So I think that's been probably ongoing, probably in the last end of Feb and March. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to ask next, because it looks as if we've almost covered everything. The next thing really is about the vaccination and the vaccines, and there's a bit of concern by people who have asthma, or they let me just bring up that article, and then we can go through it.
Yeah.
It was talking about, where is it? Yeah, they're saying that patients with asthma are being refused the vaccine by Jesus. That people with asthma who are eligible for a coronavirus vaccine are being refused it by some GPs who are not following government guidance. Right. But the doctors are also arguing that these patients do not fall into the category, because they haven't had any hospital admissions within the past 12 months, and that is what is required for them to be inoculated or vaccinated. And there's been, like, for example, there was this woman, Sonja Chenia from Colchester, and she had 3 hospital admissions in the past 15 years, but she was refused it because her last hospital admission didn't fall in the 12 months period. That, I don't know what to say, but what I'm saying, what I'm thinking is that these are people who've got underlying health situations, and if they're not vaccinated as soon as possible, then it won't be too good. What's your opinion as a doctor? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is a bit of a concern, actually, if people that obviously need the vaccine are not being offered it. And obviously there's some concerns with physical health conditions. So I think it is a bit of a concern. And I do understand why you're discussing it. So I mean, the news is saying that GPs since mid-February have said that people with emergency asthma fall into so that, even though they're supposed to be vaccinated, they've been refused it. So and obviously because of the last year, even if they haven't had admissions in the last year, they're still being refused it. So that is a bit of a concern, because that goes against the criteria for the vaccine. So I think it's obviously going to raise concerns for a lot of people with asthma, and we know that asthma is a condition which is really common. It's one of the more common physical health conditions, which include diabetes and hypertension.
I have had asthma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but mine is, I don't know where it came from, because there's no history of asthma at all in my family, and I never suffered it when I was young. When I was a child, until probably about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I had a chest infection, and then it brought that up, and when I was diagnosed with asthma, I said to the doctor, I don't think it's asthma, because and he said, yeah, it's possible you could get, but saying that, mine is not it's not serious.
So you don't use an inhaler?
I do. I've got inhalers and all that, but it only happens when, where the weather changes, like, for example, with springtime and there's grass and all that. And but even that, all I have to do is just pump it a couple of times, and then I'm free and I'm fine. I think I've only had just one near serious attack, just one a long time ago, and that's about it. So when I saw the people who have asthma being refused it kind of touched me a bit, because even though mine is not serious, and I can go a whole year without even using the inhaler, but I sort of identify with it. I'm thinking, oh God, that's why I brought that up.
Yes, I think that's a concern. I didn't know you had asthma. I would have never said that, but Yes, it is a concern, even if you've just only had it a few occasions and related to infection, because possibly that obviously triggers asthma and conditions and breathing difficulties. So, I mean, it is a concern, and you are not the only one. So there's a lot of other people, and that's what's been reported in the media. So Charity Asthma UK says a lot of people have been in contact with them to report similar issues. So we know that Asthma UK and British Lung Foundation said that there's different interpretations of the official guidance from the GP surgery staff, and they don't know what's happening. The GPs are busy trying to vaccinate many people. However, because of the complex information, um, this is now uncertain. So I think people with severe asthma who've received a letter advising them to shield as part or are part of the fourth vaccine priority groups. So they will be in the group that they will need to shield. So it seems to be so the millions of people with asthma who do not fit the criteria must wait until their age range is called. So those with asthma requiring hospitalization join those who've had 3 oral tablet or liquid steroid prescriptions over the 3-month period, as in group 6. So they're going to be in different priority groups, 4 and 6. And obviously, those that don't fall in that, so those with very mild, will have to then go into the age groups.
Okay.
So it seems quite complicated. The guidance isn't clear. And I think this is now the concern.
Yeah, I can in a way understand the doctors because they, like you said, and even from what you were reading, it sounds quite complicated. So I think they're doing the best they can,
Yes,
under those circumstances. Right. Okay.
I think just to say, if anyone's got asthma or any lung conditions, or they have conditions which they're supposed to be shielding, and if they're not in those category groups of the vaccination rollout, they should contact their GPs, healthcare professionals, and just find out some more information if they are uncertain, and check on the government website as well. And just to say that one more thing, sorry, is that so people with mild asthma, including that which can be treated by an inhaler alone, have not been found to carry a high risk of serious outcomes for COVID-19. So I think it's about a balance. Just to explain just quickly, it's about a balance, because I think it's important. There's a lot of people obviously anxious and concerned. So because the headlines is saying millions of asthmatics will have to wait for vaccine, which is going to cause a lot of alarm bells, anxiety, and this in itself can trigger some people having asthma attacks, which we wouldn't want. So I think it's about a balance. What they need to understand, and people who have these conditions, is that as doctors and GPs and health professionals, what the advice is, people with mild symptoms do not necessarily have poor outcomes with COVID-19, meaning that if they had got the virus, we know from very early on the strict guidance was people with more severe asthma and those who had used inhalers and had hospital admissions, these were the ones with the high risk groups. And those were the ones of people with asthma that needed to shield very early on in March last year, and obviously continued to shield and take precautions, because obviously if they got infected, they were at higher risk of developing complications and a more moderate to severe type of COVID-19. So the government and obviously the rollout, it has taken into account all these factors, because weighing the risk and benefits. So the risk of, obviously, if you've got a more severe asthma, you are the one that should be prioritized to get the vaccine. And obviously those with milder symptoms and milder asthma and requiring less hospitalization or no hospitalization, no inhalers or very little use of inhalers, or as in when required, or even medications, then these are the ones that obviously will be the lower priority, and they will have to wait like everyone else. So I think that is quite clear. In my mind, it's quite clear the way I've understood it. And I hope that it's coming across clear to people that are listening and that may have these conditions. But again, just a disclaimer, this is only advice and information that is available online in the government advice, but contact your GP, your healthcare professionals. So just a disclaimer from me and from Apoko at Hospital Radio Bedford.
Thank you. Now,
Sorry, I just wanted, you know how I am. I just wanted to explain it because it did sound like we were trying to get to the final point, but we didn't actually explain it fully. And I just felt it needed that bit of explanation.
Yeah, you've done a great job with that one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This one, listen to this. Cyprus has said it will open its borders to vaccinated Britons from the start of May.
Yeah.
But UK government travel restrictions will still be enforced. I mean, and the Cypriot government said those who had both COVID jabs could travel there without restrictions from the 1st of May. But this is more than 2 weeks before the earliest date that those in England will be able to go abroad for holidays. So it's like the world has started opening up now.
Yes.
But the condition is that you have to have both jabs.
Yes.
To go to Cyprus,
I did see this news. So Cyprus, obviously, it's obviously good news for a lot of people that do travel to these countries and obviously looking forward to holidays. Are you going to go on holiday?
Yes, why not?
Yes, I think a lot of people will be going on holidays. It'll be interesting to see. So Cyprus has obviously opened its travel plans that if people, if they had both jabs, they could travel there without restrictions from the May 1st. So that, I think, fantastic news for a lot of holiday makers and people that are wanting to travel. And obviously you can understand that the travel industry, tourism, has suffered so much. People have cabin fever. It's really come to a point where people are feeling the effects of lockdown. It's really, I don't know if you felt it as well. So I think on the one hand,
yes, from time to time I felt it. I'm thinking, oh God, I want to go out. I want to do this. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to get on the train and go to London or go, that kind of thing. But then I speak to myself again and I say, mate, just chill. It's only a matter of time. So yeah, I mean, I miss traveling. I miss moving around.
Yeah,
it's not just me. A lot of people do miss it. But we've got to do this. Is necessary. We've got to stay put so that we can prevent the unwanted. Okay.
Exactly. I think you're right. And like I was saying yesterday about the London trip, it was so quiet. It's unbelievable. You have to experience it to know. There's so few people going out. It's very quiet. There's no one on the trains, no one around. It's like a handful of people. People have got the message. They're taking it very, very very strict guidance. They adhering to it. Hats off to everyone that's doing their bit, because I think that's showing, and as a result of that, we are seeing the numbers go down.
So talking about the numbers go down, can you take us through what the numbers? What are the numbers?
Yes, so I've got that on in front of me. So we're going to do the numbers. In terms of the Worldometer figures, I'm just getting the up-to-date ones. So the numbers have gone down in terms of the UK, with, I think we only had like 235 maybe deaths in the last 24 hours. But I will go through the figures accurately now. In terms of the Worldometer, as of today, is it already the 5th of March?
Yeah, it is the 5th of March.
The time has just flown, the week has flown by. And so 5th of March 2021, Worldometer figures for coronavirus cases, 116,233,565 positive cases worldwide. Total number of deaths globally is 2,581,943. and total recovered is 91,902,761. Yeah,
That's good. That's music to my ears.
exactly. Almost 100 million recovered. Amazing.
Absolutely.
So definitely showing that there's a lot of positive and optimistic outcome. So USA number one with 29,596,086 positive cases. Total number of deaths 533,636 deaths. India number two with 11,173,761 positive cases with 157,584 deaths. Brazil number three with 10,796,506 positive cases with the 261,188 deaths. Russia number four with 4,290,135 positive cases with 87,823 deaths. UK number five with 4,201,358 with 124,025 deaths. So still obviously a concern in the UK. South Africa number 16 with 1,517,666 positive cases with 50,462 deaths. And Ghana is number 88 with 85,239 positive cases with 629 deaths. And we're coming to the UK 24-hour figure. In the last 24 hours, we've had a total of 242 deaths. Every life matters. And 6,573 positive cases. So quite a low number of positive cases. But 242 deaths, still significant, I would say. But definitely the numbers have reduced. I would say, almost quite rapidly. The numbers have reduced. So thank you so much, Apoko. It's been a fantastic show. Hope you have a fantastic Friday. Thank God it's Friday. And looking forward to a lovely weekend.
Yeah, it's Independence Day tomorrow for Ghana.
Oh, wow.
So, so the 6th of March. You remember last year we did something?
Yes, we did. Yes, I remember you had a lovely celebration with, I think there were a few people from the High Commission.
Yeah. So it's a huge thing for the country of Ghana and Ghanaians in the diaspora. So tomorrow there's a lot of activities going on. And
so what will you be doing?
Nothing much except a virtual sort of celebration with some of my childhood friends from all across the globe.
Amazing. What do they do in Ghana usually?
Sorry?
What do they do in Ghana usually when it's Independence Day?
Oh, everything. They do anything and everything. They go to the beach and the one. Those of us who grew up on the coast will go to the beach. It's a huge thing. It's called Meet Me There. Everybody
wow.
So many beaches, and everybody goes to the beach, and there's plenty of fun, band, food, drinks, this and that. And then in the evenings, and that's during the day.
Yeah.
And then in the evenings, it's pubs, clubs, parties, live bands, concerts. So it's a huge celebration.
Amazing.
So, that's what goes on.
Well, happy Independence Day for tomorrow to you and all your family and all the Ghanaians.
I want to wish everybody who's listening, who's Ghanaian or who's celebrating, or who's a friend of Ghana, and those listening from Ghana and those listening from here and everywhere else in the world who are Ghanaian or watching us on Facebook, I want to wish you happy Independence Day. Thank you very much, Dr. Seshmi, for joining us this morning. And I'll see you on Monday.
Yes.
Bright and early.
See you on
Have a fantastic weekend. And my love to your family.
Thank you. You as well. Have an amazing, amazing Independence Day celebration. feasting and celebrating. We'll be thinking of you, and I hope it's a lovely celebration in Ghana as
Yeah,
well, and the rest of the world.
I'll cook some Ghanaian dishes and enjoy it with my family. Yeah.
Well, I know you love your cooking, so enjoy it, and lots of love to the rest of the family. Have a blessed Friday and weekend. Thank you so much.
God bless you, Dr. Session.
Thank you, everyone, for joining the Hospital Radio Bedford. Hope everyone's doing well. Have a fantastic Friday. Namaste and lots of love. Do join me later on the Happy Doctor's Kitchen, cooking up a storm as usual. Happy and healthy meals, and happy Independence Day to Poku, his family, Amy and Sika, and the rest of all the Ghanaians for tomorrow. Bye, everyone.